What's going on, YouTube? I am your officer and host, Orange Leader 398, and welcome back to another VTI video. Now, it has kind of been a very slow, about a month in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. There has not been really a lot going on in terms of teams or releases or chasing, CG Capital Games has been gone for the holidays. It's just kind of been your daily grind. So what can you really do during a lull like this? Well, we're going to talk about it. If you're an early game player, there's always plenty to do. There's always teams to be chasing, teams to be focusing on. So that's not really much of a problem for many beginning game players. So for you, if you need anything to go for, I would suggest follow up on the Solo Journeys guide. These are all important characters. They are very useful in their ways. Emperor Palpatine is great for later teams. Grandmaster Yoda, I still use him with Jedi Knight Revan as one of my key counters in the Droideka Omicron. So if you want to check out the video on that, I do have a video that I'm going to plug here with a card in the top right hand corner on 3 different ways to counter that. Thrawn has a great capital ship, R2-D2 and BB-8, great support droids for the Resistance teams, especially for those of you who went and got the Lightspeed bundle. Those 2 are great characters. So, and then you have Starkiller, you have all these other Journey characters, Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan, Chewbacca, the Falcon, CLS, Padme, all these awesome characters that can build great teams around. So if you're an early game player and you're feeling bored, hit these up and see. These might help spice up the game a little bit. They'll give you some good leaderships. CLS and Padme are definitely top contenders for early going on, early pickings. Grandmaster Yoda is usually the first one I go for, just because I'm a big fan of Jedi. So if you're kind of bored during this time and an early player, this is for you. Now, if you're in that kind of mid-range of the game where it's like you have quite a few teams, you've done a lot of these journeys, then maybe the next step for you is just kind of start working on some of the prerequisites for some of these galactic legends. Now, I would consider myself kind of like a mid to late game player. I'm kind of around 9.2 million GP. I believe the maximum is like somewhere in the 14s. So I'm a decent ways into this game, but I don't even have all the GLs. So one thing that you could do is, if you're kind of bored and don't really have a good direction, you can kind of start working on some of these characters and start working on getting their shards. Now, for me, some of these characters are just kind of about relics. I have Jawa at 7 stars, I have C-3PO at 7 stars and some relics. But Aura Singh, she's been in the game for a while. I don't have her at 7 stars. I think she might be like 3 or 4 stars for me. So she is absolutely a character that, on the side, I should probably be farming up a little bit. I don't need to put relics on her now until I really decide that, yes, I want to go for Jabba. But, kind of going and shoring up some of your shards and trying to get shards for characters like that. Like Chrysanthemum, another one that I think I have him at like 4 or 5 stars. He's kind of been a side grind where, I've been on the side farming him when I have a little bit of extra energy here or there. Just to kind of build it up. Another thing you can do too as a mid-game player is, if you're not really ready for a GL push, or maybe you just finished up a Galactic Legend push and you want to kind of take a step back from Galactic Legends, another thing that you can do is shoring up your roster. So go ahead, look at your roster, and look at some of your teams. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my Sith. Because when I look at this, I have Darth Treya. I have her Omicron, which is great. But then you look at these two, and I have the other two of the Sith Triumvirate. They're not even at Gear 12. They're not relicked. So I am not using them probably to their fullest capacity. So that could be a project where it's like, okay, you know, it's kind of a lull in the game, not really a whole lot to do. So I'm really going to focus on getting some of these characters up. SWGoH Press is another one of those where he's a great character. If I were to put him up to like Relic 3 or 4, I could probably solo teams with him. But instead, I have him at Gear 12. So he would be another one who it would be good to round up that team. So if you ever got those teams where it's like you got people who are like relics and then you got some that are slacking, it's like use this time, these kind of lulls that you get from once or twice a year for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and kind of use them to your advantage to really bolster up your roster and kind of round it off, you know. Because there's always those weak links in each team where it's like, hey, I finally got them the relics, and you stop. I'm staring at one right now. I have Gear 13. I just need to relic. But once again, I just got her there. I'm like, oh hey, I'm happy, I'm going to do something else. So use this time to kind of round it up and really kind of focus on that. Now, let's say you're a late end player. What to do then? Well, that is always a big question. If you're one of those who is a spender who wails out, there's not really a lot of advice here for you. Because, I mean, when something new comes out, you go and get it. But, let's say you're an end player like me who does not wail out on everything. Who does not go ahead and put like thousands of dollars into teams and GLs. Well, I am currently starting what I like to call my hoard session. I am going to start hoarding gear, I'm going to start hoarding relic materials, I am going to start hoarding crystals, and I am going to wait for the next big thing to come. There has been a lot of speculation of Admiral Trench getting a ship because, as a lot of other streamers have pointed out, he is literally the only Admiral without a capital ship. So he's probably going to get one. So there's bound to be more Separatist characters, more Separatist ships that come for him if he does come in as a new meta fleet. And anytime there's anything fleet related, it is expensive with crystals. Because when the events come through, you have to use crystals to refresh it, otherwise you're getting like 10 shards a month from the event. And it's like you get that 5 stars, but if you want to take it instantly to 7, it takes a lot of crystals. Or maybe there's going to be a new Galactic Legend that's going to be coming out here in the next couple months that maybe I want to save for. And, you know, maybe I can use my crystals I save up for some of those marquee characters, you know, and try and get them early or when they drop into shipments, which would be the cheaper way to do it, instead of opening those packs, getting them from shipments when they come out. That is what I did with this one right here. I had probably about like 30,000 crystals saved up, and I really like Galactic Republic Jedi. I like the era. It's Clone Wars era is absolutely my favorite. And so when I saw this guy, I'm like, ooh, that's really good. I like his Omicron, you know, he's going to be very powerful. But I didn't want to spend money on him. So I used what I had been saving up, and I got him out of the shipments, which is a lot cheaper. So, saving crystals, saving materials really allowed me to finish that up relatively quickly, and I also geared Jedi Master Luke Skywalker in a couple days. So, you know, Yeah, I had this lull where I wasn't really improving much, but recently with those savings of relic mats, materials, and crystals, I was able to pack a punch pretty quickly with my GP and boost it up a little bit. So, hopefully this has been a great help for you if you don't know what to do during this Star Wars Galaxy Hero lull. If you got any comments, questions, or any other ideas on what you can do during this time, make sure to put them in the comments section down below, and I'll make sure to check them out. If you have any other video suggestions, absolutely, I would love to hear them. Any other how-tos, or how do you do this, or any other advice guides, let me know. I take advice. But as always, have fun, stay safe, peace.